Welcome back to the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased, except ours. In our 50th episode special, we're talking about
Woohoo!
the movie where there's an apex predator high on cocaine. It is Cocaine Bear. And as of this recording, it's opening weekend for the movie, and I guess we'll just get right into it. I, for one, I actually liked Cocaine Bear. I was surprised that I liked it. You guys can talk now.
I thought it was just okay.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
Oh, really? I guess I'm the contrarian today. I was
As
expecting,
usual.
let me preface by saying I was expecting something like a Seth MacFarlane kind of film where it's just unfunny. I was expecting a Ted 2 and A Million Ways to Die in the West, where it's just unfunny and terrible. And I'm surprised to say that Cocaine Bear made me chuckle a couple times. Way more than Seth MacFarlane gets out of me. So I guess that's why I like it more than I thought I would, because my expectations were so low.
I mean, that sounds like as low as you can get. I mean, you're talking like it, like a Zack Snyder, Seth MacFarlane. Like that's like as low as you can go when it comes to like actual
Look,
movies.
Zack Snyder he's the low bar for action movies, and Seth MacFarlane's the low bar for comedy movies.
I get that, but like I'm saying, like you're setting the bar really low with like your expectations, comparing them to, like, to the worst of the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's a funny concept. Don't get me wrong; it really happened, except the fact that it was a 175-pound bear that didn't kill anyone, and his little heart couldn't take the sheer amount of cocaine.
Rip.
Rest in peace, Cocaine Bear. But I don't know. I thought. I guess what had me a little nervous was Elizabeth Banks was directing. I did not see any of her movies, but I know, I didn't see Pitch Perfect 2 or whatever
You
the
didn't
other
see
one.
Charlie's Angels, Colin?
I did not.
No one saw it.
I had no interest,
No one saw it.
and I thought she did a pretty good job for given her status and I guess her experience. I think she did a good job.
See, I thought this movie fell. I had higher expectations for the comedy, and it fell short for me.
Oh, really?
I thought,
Same.
I thought. See, I thought they would have. I think where the movie fell short for me is that they didn't play enough into kind of the ridiculousness of the situation. Like you have this bear hopped up on coke, and like I, I think also too with like the creativity of the kills. Like I don't know, I just thought they would have been more creative with it overall, and
Well,
they
it's a
kind of
bear. What
weren't.
do you think it's gonna do? Like,
Yeah,
think
but
things
it's a
out?
fun. But yeah, but it's a ridiculous premise. You have a bear hopped up on coke, running around the woods, murdering people and looking for more coke.
Yeah, but do you expect it to be like Jason, where it's gonna be like thinking like, okay, I'm gonna give the drop on this guy? No, it's an animal that's high.
Yeah, but it kind of does that in the movie. It's not
Yeah,
funny.
I mean the part where they have the bear reach through the glass with its paw to grab the guy by the face, like I thought they would have done more things like that, but I don't know. I thought they didn't utilize the premise enough or play more into it, especially because you don't need to ground it in realism for the sake that yeah, there was a bear that ate like 40 bags of coke and it died. That's the realistic part. But the fact that this is all off cuff and it's like you can do whatever you want with it, I think they could have played more into that and had more fun with it. Also, I felt the dialogue and the jokes were horrible, like not horrible, but for the most part, did not land at all. The only
I disagree.
there were only a few parts that actually made me chuckle, and actually one of them was with the bear. 'Cause when are we getting into that part like specifics or we're just overviewing?
Just overview, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, I thought that's where I was disappointed. I was expecting more ridiculousness and like, have more fun with the plot, and they kind of fell short on that for me.
Oh man.
I've been trying to like verbalize how I felt, and I think the best comparison I can make at the moment is I felt. You ever seen the movie Sausage Party?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yes, that was
Oh,
not a
I've
funny
seen parts
movie.
of it. Well, that falls into like the Seth MacFarlane.
But let me continue.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because a lot of the jokes in that movie were, isn't it funny these CGI food characters are doing these very obscene things? That's what Cocaine Bear kind of felt like. Isn't it funny this bear's like violently killing people? Like, well, bears kind of can do that, so it's not as funny. At least
Yeah.
that's how I felt. Like
The-
it just wasn't
I,
funny. Like, yeah, a bear can violently kill people. It's not that funny for
Yeah,
me.
but it's also like if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna be like, oh look, it's funny a bear's mauling a guy, like be actually be fun. Don't just have like a bear maul a guy as he would in real life. Like you have a bear hop on
Well, I
coke.
guess the point is though, like, what are you expecting? If there's a killer bear, how do you want him to kill people? Do you want him to grab a shovel and like stick it through somebody? Like, what are you expecting? Yeah, I guess is my
No, but it's
question.
just
I was
every
expecting
kill. It's like
funny.
he, yeah, but every kill he literally bites into someone, rips them up, and then just moves on. That's
Well,
it.
yeah, that's
Like
what I'm
that was
saying.
like
What are you expecting it to do? It's a bear.
well, you can do that for a good portion or like the first couple kills, but like
Well, what do you want
have
it to
some
do?
fun.
Well,
I don't know. I
how do
didn't.
you want the bear to kill people? It's a bear. It's grounded in
It
some
didn't.
reality. Like, do you want it to do a backflip and then stick its thumbs into someone's chest and rip him apart?
Well, I mean, they had the bear fall asleep on a guy. Like there were some elements where they tried to play into it, but like you didn't do it with the main part of the movie is killing people. I don't
I
know.
disagree a little. I think you're expecting too much, where you want the bear to do crazy things like a Jason.
Well, but there wasn't anything crazy like it did. Like they that's what I'm saying is there for me at least when I was watching it, like there was it climbs the tree, rips the one guy, rips eats it like is eating his guts as the guy's hanging out of the tree, and then the body drops.
There's
And like
the old lady in the ambulance that he knocks the gurney off, and then her face hits the ground as the
but
truck
see
the ambulance is going, and her
but
face skids.
that was one of the parts I
But
chuckled
see,
at
I think
because
this is
that
the
at
problem.
least
Colin finds gore funnier than we do.
Well,
Like,
in movies, yeah, I do laugh at that stuff. That stuff makes me
yeah,
chuckle.
you find that funnier. Me and Dan, I don't think find that as funny, which is why I think we
yeah.
didn't find it funny. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like
come so
this
far.
is supposed to be a horror film. Like, get at least somewhat creative.
I
Like
don't think
that's what
it
I'm
was
saying
supposed to
is
be a horror film. I think it's supposed to be like a.
it's a horror
it's shot like
comedy.
Well,
a
no,
horror
no,
movie.
no.
It's got the
It's
ensemble cast.
no. It's something more like a scary movie, in terms of
Well,
horror. It's not
well,
an actual horror movie. It's a schlock horror
Craig,
movie.
when I left the theater and I was just thinking, I'm like, what is this movie? I feel like I'm watching. It honestly felt like it was meant for like the Sci-Fi Channel, like a Sharknado style. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I think so too, because it definitely was trying to be like a comedy horror. It just failed miserably.
Oh.
That's why it
Yeah,
belongs in the sci-fi channel. All those terrible
yeah.
movies.
And like there was no jokes or the only line that made me chuckle was when when the sheriff when Ray Liotta's character showed up in the
Rest in peace,
woods.
Ray.
Yeah. It's a rough way to go out with this whimper of a movie, but
Well, he has
um
four more, I think. So
okay, all right, good. Um when he shot the sheriff and then they're talking about the dog, right? And Ray Liotta's character is it Sid? He's talking to the son. He's just like, saying how he left the kid at home watching TV, and then they talk about the girl shows up and she's like, "Oh yeah, I left the dog in the car." And Ray Liotta looks at her like, "Wait, you left a dog in a car?"
But see, like that, I mean, I find funnier than a bear violently mauling somebody. But
Yeah, but yeah, I thought none of really the dialogue hit. I thought it kind of a lot of the dialogue was poorly written, especially with like the some of the kids dialogue and that one boy who's like he was a bit of like Mr. Exposition, like explaining the scenes as like you're watching them happen. I don't know.
when was this?
But
I don't remember a kid dumping exposition. What was that?
I'm that's the thing is like I'm trying to remember the specific, but it felt like he was just kind of like his dialogue
You
was
talking
like
about the little
explaining
kid?
what is happening. Yeah.
He did that a little bit in the beginning, but that was really it. Because he was talking about
Mm.
like, oh, this and that, and then the dialogue between the mom in the beginning and the daughter was little rough. But other than
And
that, it
then
was
like
just mostly people just saying like, "Oh, run from the bear." Like that was what mostly the and talking to Ray Liotta about his cocaine deals.
Well, also too, the park ranger and that like whatever she her and that the inspector guy, that was bad. Did you not catch that joke, that sexual joke she made?
Oh yeah, I
The
mean
guy,
I didn't laugh, but
well,
she said
which
like under her breath.
where he's like, "Oh, you got a dried up beaver here. You should clean that up." And she goes, "I'm working on it." I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh God."
I don't know. I feel
You
like
know,
you guys
Those are the
expected
things.
maybe a little
I thought.
too much from it.
I thought they wasted a chance with those with that weird gang that was shanking people in the park. Like they just get beat up in the bathroom, and then they have a redemption story for the leader. But you could have taken them, and I thought at
What are
least
you gonna do
well,
with them? Two of them died to the bear.
no, actually only one did.
One?
Remember the park ranger, her gun went off. She blew the
Oh
guy
yeah,
off the
fine.
back of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
head.
But they
That
both
was one
died
of the
like
better kills. I thought that was one of the funnier moments. She actually shot him. Yeah,
Yeah, looks like she never held a gun before.
yeah. She was
yeah,
so like trigger happy.
Like, get out of my way! Misses every shot.
yeah.
Craig, I want to hear more from you because Daniel's been voicing his concerns.
Well, like I said before, I don't think it was funny. I think it was a lot of like, isn't it funny we're having a bear disembowel somebody? Like, yeah, not really.
I mean, it's like I said before. What do you expect the bear to do?
But well, I mean, like another one of the parts that made me chuckle, that I probably thought might have been the funniest part of the movie, was when the bear kills that weird inspector guy, and the body falls, and the bear goes to the body, and after he's done like mauling the body, one of his legs got chopped. The bear took off, and the leg is there, and the bear runs up to the leg, and there's and does a line of coke off the leg and just keeps moving. I thought that that was funny. Like it literally did a line and then it cuts to the next scene.
I thought one thing that kind of made me chuckle is when the kids did coke. I was surprised the movie would do that, where they just ate like they just ate the coke from the bag. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, what, was this necessary?
I was not expecting them to do something like that.
But see, I think that's why like I didn't like it because a lot of it's like, wow, we made kids do coke and movie. We're having a bear. Like, isn't it funny? We're going like extreme with this. Like, I don't
But
find it funny.
also, too, another thing I didn't understand at the end is they try to go with like this sympathetic approach towards the bear. Like this bear was hopped up on coke, is mauling all these people. Some of them are drug dealers. One's a cop. You have family. You have this mixed group of characters, and then at the end, when they get to the cave, the bear has like cubs doing coke, and then now it's like
It's a
you know
cocaine family, I guess.
and then but then it's like they try to do a sympathetic approach, like where you think the bear dies, the coke revives it,
Well,
comes up, kills
that's
him.
not sympathy. That's just like when the
No,
bear
no, no,
gets
no.
knocked down.
But it having cubs, like where now like the cubs are in danger, and now she's a mother protecting her cubs. It's like no,
I
he
don't
was
think that was
hopped
the
up on
point of
coke
the
mauling
scene. I
people.
think the point of the scene was to show that the mother brought home the coke for the bears to get hooked on coke themselves. I think that was more the point. It wasn't about like, oh no, it has babies or whatever. I think the point was that there's baby cubs that are high on coke.
Yeah,
Not saying it was well done. I'm just saying like I think that was more the intention than not. It's not like, oh no, the mother is gonna die.
But they
Her
try to,
cubs.
but they try to make it sad, like when the mother died and the little cubs are like crying for her and stuff, and it's
Well, I
like
think the point was like they wanted that moment where the bear gets waken up by the coke when the bag falls or something. I think they wanted that stupid moment. That was like straight out of Jurassic World 3 when Rexy gets knocked down and there's like lightning in the background and it wakes Rexy up. It was just like Jurassic World 3. I was like, oh my god.
I don't even remember that.
Well, I do. I remember that.
And like I said, this is also just be like a me thing, but like I don't like slasher movies because this
Well,
is
then you're
kind of
not gonna like this, Craig. I'll just tell you.
well, I mean, I didn't realize it'd be stylized like a slasher. I thought it'd be a little funnier, like a bear on cocaine, like a comedy of errors trying to stop it. I don't know. I didn't see any trailers. All I know about this movie called Cocaine Bear, and the bear is on cocaine.
I will say though, I'm disappointed that they didn't use white lines during the movie because the trailer I actually really liked because I mean, it's on the nose, but they used White Lines, the song, in the trailer too, and they edited it to the beat of the song. The trailer's what made me want to watch it, because if it was a Seth MacFarlane trailer, something like that, or it's done like a Seth MacFarlane trailer, I would not have watched this movie. I would not have. But I thought the trailer was really cool, and that's what made me want to watch it. So they didn't use that in the movie. They could have had a moment where Cocaine Bear is mauling people to the beat of White Lines.
But that'd be creative, and this director,
That would
she's
have been, yeah, that would have been
not a
too
good
much for the
director.
director, for Elizabeth
But
Banks.
yeah, but
I
that's
just
what
don't
I
like her
mean
because
is like
she's a woman.
Well, I mean, you see Charlie's Angels?
or Pitch Perfect too.
I have not.
But but some like you guys are just making that point. Like that's something they could have done. Have a little more, make it a little more like humorous instead of just dark where the bear's just mauling people. And I think and that's where I was disappointed. Like the humor was more in like the bad dialogue where you didn't have more humor in the actual killing. It's just straight a bear mauling people.
And like, what would you like the bear to do? Like, in all seriousness, if you
See,
were writing
I think it'd be
Cocaine
Well,
Bear,
see,
funnier
like, well,
if it was a comedy of errors. Like they're trying to like
yeah,
stop the bear, and the bear just keeps outsmarting them and getting more coke or something.
yeah, that would have been a
but
more
in
fun
terms of the killing,
premise.
though, disregarding that fact, you're dealing with the bear. Like I said, it's not a Michael
Well,
Myers or a Jason where they could
Well,
use
I think
tools and
you could have
whatnot.
had more like where the lady actually blows the guy's head off. Like it's a
That's
more
not the
of
bear
like
killing people.
I'm just saying killing in general. The bear doesn't have to do all the killing. You could have had a comedy of errors, and the bear is there too.
I think that.
Like this is like Craig was saying, they made this more of like just a straight slasher movie with the bear and everything. They could have done a more if they're trying to go for a comedy, then have actual like there's a more of a comedy of errors with it.
I
Like
think they're
people are
going more
messing up
for
and
a
stuff.
B movie. That's why it seems like it's perfect for the Sci-Fi Channel.
I don't know. I just think I don't like slash movies. It's like the worst kind of genre of movies out there. I don't know. People keep making these.
I don't know what you were doing watching Cocaine Bear there,
I didn't know it
Craig.
was a slasher. I saw no. I didn't
Yeah,
see
no,
any trailer. You said, "Hey, let's go watch Cocaine Bear." I was like, "All right, I guess we have to watch
yeah,
Cocaine Bear for
the
this."
trailer made it seem like it was going to be like more of a comedy.
I mean, I think the comedy's more of on the idea, like the juvenile idea, like, oh, isn't it funny that this bear is on cocaine? I think that
Even then, it's not funny. It's just, oh, this bear
yeah,
violently killed somebody.
it's
It's like,
more
oh,
like, oh man, this is like animal abuse.
Well,
It's on cocaine.
because if the bear is actually on coke, what would have happened is like what happened in real life. So, you're already distancing yourself from like a realistic thing happening because the bear would have just OD'd with the amount of coke it did.
Oh yeah,
So that's what so it's like instead of going for like that like as just straight slasher and people just trying to flee the bear, like I would, like a hunting party or something. Or they could have found out, they could have discovered early like the coke is stashed in the mountain, and then they have to do this like the hunting party for most of the movie. Like they're trying to hunt the bear and track it rather than them just trying to like leave and they keep running into the bear.
I thought it was fine where they had to retrieve the drugs because that sets up that they're going into immediate danger because they're going into the bear's territory, but they don't know about that. I
See,
think that
see
was fine.
no, that's fine. I think what they should have done is they should have focused more on like Ray Liotta's character and the and Ice Cube's son's like character. Like, so you have more drug dealers. They're just trying to get the drugs, so they're willing to kill the bear. So it actually becomes like a battle, and you can have the comedy of errors rather than like having the mom and her daughter and that kid there.
I do agree there was a little too much going on with all the characters. They could have cut out the kids, honestly.
And then they have that couple. Like I
Well, the
didn't
couple
mind
was
that
the beginning. The couple was
No, that's fine, but that guy doesn't need to be there again. He doesn't need to still be in the woods. Just the only reason he's there is to point them where the cave is, but
yeah, I thought
like
the guy died.
yeah, I thought
yeah,
he died
but
too.
I thought no, the opening scene was fine. You set up the premise that the bear is now hyper aggressive and a killer on coke, but you don't need that guy to still be there weeping over his girlfriend. Like why would you still be in the woods weeping? And especially if the bear is still there. Like just get out.
I
Or
don't
he
know.
should just be
Maybe
dead.
have you ever had that happen to you? a loved one gets brutally mauled by a coked up bear? I don't think so. Maybe he was
Yeah,
traumatized.
but if you're gonna grieve, get out of the area and
What are you, an
grieve. You
expert
don't.
on this?
Yes,
That should.
that's what I went to school for.
Well, the thing is that also that initial grieving would go away when you realize that the killer is
I
still on
think
the
you're
loose.
just looking too much into it. Like now you're talking about some kind of logic in a B movie.
Well,
Well, to me,
it
I'm
just
surprised that guy was alive because I assumed he
yeah.
died. Like you saw his
Well, no,
girlfriend die. I
that's
think
fine.
what
But
he
like
had.
talking about the processes of grieving for a character, like I think that's a little much.
Well,
I
you're
just think
also.
there's no reason for him to be there.
Well,
He
I
shouldn't.
also
I thought he
I think
died.
yeah, but realistically, you're still in survival mode. You're thinking about
Yeah, but this
survival.
isn't realistic. You just said it wasn't. There's no realism
Well,
now.
this is the direction that they were going with. Their more realistic approach. Then that guy shouldn't have been there.
I mean, like if it was realistic, then the bear wouldn't have killed anybody. The movie threw out realism. It threw it out.
All right, all right. Back to the actual point. The guy shouldn't have been there in the end. There was no point for his character to be there.
Well, no, the point was to, in a screenplay format, the point was for the character to advance the plot. Technically,
But they could have found the cave without him.
I mean, I don't know. They could it could have been. I never defended the movies for its writing.
You're doing a lot of defending it though.
Yeah, because I
What
think
does Elizabeth Banks
no, no,
have
no.
on you? Is she
Yeah,
blackmailing you?
yeah, she's blackmailing me.
Blink twice if
I
she's
know. Craig
blackmailing
doesn't
you.
like it because he just doesn't like slashers to begin with. Mostly, Craig doesn't like the torture and gore stuff.
It's not that I don't like gore in general, but I don't like how that was the joke in itself. It was just this bear violently killed somebody. It's like
Yeah, that's like most slasher films though. They try to kill people in brutal ways. Craig
usually
probably
it's
would
kind
not.
of funny.
Craig would not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one. That movie is just pure torture. Like the main character just gets
Yeah,
tortured the whole movie.
but those ones aren't trying to paint themselves off as a comedy. They're meant
Well,
to
I'm just
just be
saying. I'm
straight
just saying
horror.
for
This
Craig
is
with
trying to
gore
paint
though.
itself off as.
I'm just saying for gore though, because Craig doesn't like that stuff.
But I think Craig would be willing to give it more of a pass if it was meant to be a straight horror movie or
As you're talking, like I'm
slasher
not here.
You
Yeah.
muted yourself for a second there.
Well, Craig,
I
would you?
really don't have much to say.
No, but I'm saying is, would you be willing to give it more of a pass for the gore and brutal kills if it was meant to just be that way instead of trying to be a comedy as well?
It was just again, it just wasn't funny. But that's what it comes down to. It just wasn't funny. Like he violently killed the person, but it wasn't funny. Like that's why I brought up the comparison to Sausage Party. Their jokes were, "Isn't it funny we're doing this?" Like a meta joke to the audience. Isn't it funny we're making a movie about a bear and cocaine? It's like initially yes, but you have to actually make it funny. You can't just have
I
the same joke over and over the entire movie.
I will say though, I think it's insulting to at least Cocaine Bear to compare it to that terrible Sausage Party. That
Well, I
movie
know
is
that was
terrible.
terrible, but I'm saying that's what it reminded me of.
Are you telling me you didn't laugh when
No,
all the
anything.
condiments were having an
No,
orgy?
no, stop it. Shut up. No.
No, because it's not funny.
I like. I mean, I don't know if I have much more else to say, but I think you guys are just expecting a little too much from it, and I was
I was expecting funny.
Yeah,
You told me it
it's
was funny.
I
yeah.
thought I chuckled a couple times during it. It made me chuckle. I don't
Good for
mind.
you.
I don't mind the violence and
No, I
where it's
wouldn't mind the
brutally
violence if
murdering
the
people.
comedy itself hit more. But there wasn't enough comedy for me to enjoy it as a comedy. It should have just been painted as like a horror movie or a scary movie. But it's calling itself like a horror comedy, and there's really not much comedy to call it that.
I disagree
I
a
just
little,
thought
but
I
there's
thought the
definitely
dialogue for it was bad.
the dialogue was iffy. It was more rough in the beginning. It was definitely, like I said, it was rough with the daughter and the mother in the beginning.
And also too, it's like I feel like the cop characters were kind of just thrown in there. You don't need them there. Like the drug dealers trying to get their drugs from a bear hopped up on coke is good enough itself. You don't need cops coming in. You also
I
don't
really
need
thought
the
it was to say,
family. Like
"Oh man, the mayor's on me, the DA's on
yeah,
me." Oh
yeah,
man,
he did sound pretty like
I was waiting for him to say
yeah,
something like that. That was
yeah, he had the voice, yeah.
a
But
little
I was just
disappointed he
like,
didn't make one of those jokes. or those phrases.
The mayor's gonna have my ass.
The
But
DEA, man, they want
and
this
then,
coke. I'm fired.
and then Tommy Doyle comes out of the woods. Your department has failed us over and over again. But yeah, and like you don't need the family there. You don't need the kids. There's
Yeah,
like
I would
you don't
agree
need
on
to
that. They didn't
you,
need the
you don't
kids
need to
there.
try to give this movie a heart in any way. This is a ridiculous premise. There doesn't need to really be a heart. Also, too, like, yeah, I mean, because like they could have like they played a little bit into the jokes with like they could have had like Ray Liotta more in the movie, like him and the son and the other drug dealer. Like that trio could have really just been it. And then you have the kids in the park rangers. That's fine, but
I
you don't
think
need the
they had
cops.
the
And you
no.
don't need
I
the
think
family.
the cop was fine because he also was going after the drug dealers. So just more people going in there and more people for fodder, which I thought was
Well,
fine.
actually, he's going after the coke.
But he also knew he got a tip that they were going to be there too.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. Like I said, the mother and the two kids was they could have been removed.
Also, the terrible Han Solo actor.
He
They had
wasn't
this whole
too
back.
he wasn't too bad in this. He's usually pretty bad, but I think maybe that's just how he acts. And
No, I was gonna say like the whole backstory where he has like tragically had his wife pass away from like cancer or something, and then he has to like have his son with Ray Liotta. I'm like, who cares? Like, it doesn't really help much with the
Yeah,
movie.
I thought the funniest parts was like Ray Liotta like trying to get rid of the grandson. like when they were at the they were like in the mall or whatever, like at that like place, and like Ray Liotta's talking with what was the guy's name?
he's talking with O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, no, what was his character's name?
Who
Oh,
cares?
David.
Yeah, where he's talking with David, and and as he's
He's
talking to him, he's like, he's trying to, he wants his son back so he can take the kid, and he's like, and the kid's like, oh, Grandpa, look, I'm doing this. He goes, he's like, puts his head down, and goes, yeah, yeah, that's great. Like, like they had enough with those characters that you could have done a more like you didn't have to have like um what's the right word?
I don't know.
You didn't have to have the sentimental family value. You could have had a more of those like more of the like messed up characters thrown into this premise and plot, and then they're trying to work their way out of it.
Because at the end too, it was weird where the two drug dealers, I guess after Ray Liotta dies, like, you know what? Let's not sell drugs more. Let's be best friends and drive home. It's like, what?
Yeah, like that was weird. They had that sentimental moment in the water and everything.
I always forget that the drug dealers have to like, you know, put a cap in the cop just because he's a cop.
Yes.
Like the cop was being nice to let him go. He's like trying to kill the cop and take the drugs from him.
Well, because they needed the drugs to repay their clients, because then if they don't pay up, their clients will kill them.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna think too much about it. But it's like the cop was being nice. Normal people would have
Oh
just.
yeah, the cop didn't deserve to die the way he did.
That's it. Yeah, like he died like a punk. Just got shot in the stomach and left on the gazebo.
Yeah, he was thinking about his dog he just got.
Like that part made me chuckle where he's in the phone booth calling to check in on the dog, and he's like, I didn't say a proper goodbye. I don't know if dogs think about things like that. Like that was fine. Also, another part that made me chuckle was the beginning, where the guy who's dropping the coke hits his head on the top of the door and just falls
See
out.
that made me laugh because who does that?
Those us are like, oh, it's a faulty parachute. Like, no, the dude just knocked himself out on the way down. That was funny. But see, that was funny too, because he's like doing these dance moves. He's like getting rid of he's like each bag.
He's like hyping himself
out.
up.
Yeah, he's throwing out a different way. He's dancing to like the music and stuff. Like, that's funny. Like, and that's where I think they should have played more into it, especially because like the '80s music. Like, I will give the movie a good props, or at least they kept it at least felt like you were in the '80s, like they were playing the music and stuff, like. But that music being more fun and upbeat, it could have given you like if you played more to the ridiculousness of it, it would have fit it perfectly. Instead of like, or if you have that music playing while a guy's getting mauled, it at least But instead of it just like quiet and you hear a grown man getting mauled in the woods, it's like, it's not really funny.
It's a little funny because it's a movie. If it happened in real life, that'd be terrifying.
I know people are like, I saw people trying to praise the CGI. I mean, it wasn't
I
bad,
was
but
gonna say that I thought the bear looked really good.
really, because I like the entire time was like, I know this is a CGI bear, not because
Oh,
it's on
geez, Craig.
cocaine.
I didn't that didn't bother me because going into this movie it to me like it's a ridiculous premise, so I don't care about that.
It looked like
But that's
a B movie
but the
where the CGI
CGI
was terrible.
but the CGI was more along the lines of like a sci-fi movie,
I
like on
thought the
a
bear
sci-fi
looked pretty
channel.
good.
They didn't really to me
It's
it
Uncanny
looked
Valley,
cheap.
man.
I mean,
It looked cheap, but the CGI but for this kind of a movie it didn't matter to me.
yeah, I
Oh, it
mean,
didn't matter. I'm just saying. I saw
'cause I
people
think
praising. I'm
they
like,
used
I don't
wetted
know about that.
digital. I thought the bear looked pretty good, given what they had to work with in their budget. The bear looked pretty good.
I mean, I guess they don't. I mean, you think if they don't whip their employees, like they do a good job,
Well,
like how
well,
Disney
Craig,
whips
it's
their
because
employees.
it's
This is
because they have a
when.
female director. They can't afford as much.
Oh, right, they pay
Oh
her
man.
less.
Oh jeez.
The
Yeah.
only thought I had was
Yes, Craig.
the male paramedic. I don't know his name, but I've seen him in videos where he's like,
He does the IKEA.
yeah, he's like some retail worker who's like, oh, you're not going to give me my PTO? Well, it's considered a warning or something. I know I'm butchering, but it's
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
makes those
that
kinds of
guy.
jokes.
Yeah, he does the IKEA employee like shorts. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Good for him. I mean, not the best movie, but good for him. I don't think he was an actor before this.
Yeah, but and
That
also
guy's
too,
arm
like
got snapped in half. I was like, oh god.
that part made me laugh where he like got thrown to the front, looks at the girl, and his hand just falls down. It snapped off.
Or when the ambulance driver crashes and she goes flying through the windshield. I mean, that whole ambulance part is probably the best part of the movie.
And
Yeah.
then I did chuckle at the end, like when the mom and the two kids are walking, and then like okay, onto this side of the road, they just walk right by the lady who's in the gurney. They didn't even acknowledge. They just kept walking.
Some of the parts that made me chuckle with the little kid was he was saying like these are the kind of things that stay with a man for the rest of his life.
See, because I think we can all agree the ambulance part was the best part, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
easily.
Because I feel like that's what was going to what I was saying before, like a comedy of errors. Like these people come, they can't handle a bear and cocaine and get violently murdered for
Well,
it.
they're also like
Like
unprepared too.
well, yeah, but like I feel like that's more its
No, I'm agreeing
strengths.
with you. I'm agreeing with you. Like with the comedy of errors, they're unprepared. They don't know how to react. They're scrambling.
Yeah, bear chases down the ambulance and goes in and starts mauling them. Still, like they think, oh, we were in the car, we're safe. Nope, the cocaine gives them super speed.
Yeah, or like where the guy goes that he sees the blood in the back closet and opens it and sees like the dismembered body, and he sees the bear like coming out of the corner and he just slowly shuts the door and backs up.
Yeah,
If it was
that
more
whole
like
part
that, I think it would
was
have been a
good.
funny movie.
Yeah.
But see, but you like the bear kills the one guy, the one body goes flying out and she gets grinded up on the street, and then the other girl crashes it and she dies. It's like you don't. That's what I'm saying. Is not every kill had to be like the bear just mauling, like just straight up mauling someone like an actual bear would.
I mean, in that regard, yes, but I mean, like I said, the bear is gonna mostly maul people. He's not like, and that him killing the person in the ambulance, that's very specific to that whole set piece. But for the most part, everyone's out in the open, everyone's in the forest, and the bear is going to maul people.
I feel like if they had something like the end, like people trying to actually stop the bear, maybe a more coordinated attack, just to mix it up a bit. Because you start sending people with the riot gear,
Yeah,
and
but
then
then
it's
Craig, at that
them.
point, then it wouldn't be much of a movie. Your local police force would just shoot it down.
Okay, well,
I think
the
that's why it's better to have these kind of characters who are unprepared, not expecting a bear, and there's few of them. Because then, if there's a cop, there's like multiple cops, and then we'll be criticized. Movie, we're like, wow, they're stupid, they're incompetent. How could they have all these weapons and not kill it?
yeah, but at least it'd be funny him like murdering like SWAT team people. Because there's a forest. It's not like it's not as easy to hunt something as opposed to like being in wide open
Yeah, but
field.
we'd be making the same criticisms as we did for Halloween Kills, where all those townspeople literally have a gang of people, a
Except,
gaggle of
yeah,
people.
That's different though.
but you can't compare Michael Myers, a slow walking 60-year-old man, to like a couple 100-pound animal that can
Well,
move on all
I'm just
fours and
saying though,
keep up
like
with
if
cars.
you have all these people, like you want the cops, and all these people with guns and whatnot hunting down the bear, it's gonna look really stupid when they have a corner or something and something crazy happens. Then we'll be
I see. It'd
criticizing
be
it for
funny because
that.
it's a bear on cocaine.
I don't know. I feel
The
like
cocaine's like a drug. It's like he takes it and
I'm
like
just
gets
saying.
super
I
strength.
feel like we would be criticizing it for that.
Well, you would. Craig and I would like it.
No, I would. I would 100%. I agree. I would be criticizing that because it's so stupid. Like
Yeah,
Halloween
but it's
Kills,
a
it's
bear.
so
But it's a
stupid.
bear running around on cocaine. It's meant to be stupid.
Yeah, but if you have like, there has to be some threat to the bear, right? Like guns and all that kind of stuff will kill it. That's why in the movie, like, not a lot of people have guns because easily you kill it. I think that's better, and instead of having everyone armed to the teeth and then just like gunning it down, it's too high in cocaine and it eats all the bullets. I mean, that happened in the movie, but it was only like a couple shots, and the coke like woke it up. Like I said, it would remind me too much of Halloween Kills, where they're just. I'd rather see people get killed in a funny way than seeing dumb people get killed because of incompetence. I think that is much more frustrating from an audience point of view of just seeing dumb people who are incompetent get killed because of their incompetence. That's more annoying.
But I think that would have played more into like the what they were initially going for, what this movie should have been.
Yeah, but you don't want a bunch of like morons running around like slipping on banana peels and shooting themselves. I think you want some incompetence in your characters, but like I think what you guys want is just it's like Saturday morning Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Yeah, because a
What's
bear
wrong with
hopped up
that?
on coke is meant to be more. I think fits better in that category.
I think they, for
What's
the
wrong with
most
Tom
part,
and Jerry?
oh, there's nothing wrong. I love Tom and Jerry. I think for what they did, I think they did a good job. It could have been better. It felt like they could have refined the script a lot more. I mean, we don't know with Ray Liotta if
See,
he had scheduling conflicts and he could only be on the movie for so long, for so
yeah,
many days. We don't know that. So maybe they wanted more stuff with Ray Liotta. They should have removed the mother and the two kids and then just focused
yeah,
it more on O'Shea Jackson
because I
Jr. and Alden Ike Reich or Aaron Reich, whatever his name is.
The bad Han Solo.
Yeah, bad Han Solo. I
yeah,
still would keep the cop though. I'd still keep him in the movie.
that's fine. For to further the plot, he's that they have a guy. Not only are they going up against the bear, but they have a cop. That's fine. But I don't think you needed the other cop, the female cop, to like be on the inside with the drug dealers. Like,
I think that was just added. I mean, it was dumb, but just it's just really add insult to injury to the cop. Like, not only does he get betrayed, but he gets shot, and then the person who's with his dog betrayed him. They're like really piling in on that guy. It just felt disrespectful.
yeah, she didn't. The female cop didn't need to be there either. I think you could have had those four. I don't know how I really felt about the drug dealer with the redemption story kind of deal. Like or not the drug dealer, the gang guy, the one that tried to
Yeah,
shank him in the bathroom.
that was silly. But I did
Yeah,
like the scene where O'Shea Jackson Jr. just beats them all up, and he's trying to
yeah,
watch out for his jersey, make sure it doesn't get dirty, and he turns around, there's like a knife in his in his
yeah,
back.
yeah. Because and then I think they played a little too much, or they tried to make too much of a joke of like, you know, then like that kid and the and Ray Liotta's son, they had like that, like they were like bonding in the woods and like emotionally connecting with each other. I was like, why?
Well, because
Like they
he
could
said
have had.
his son wasn't the same because of since he lost
Yeah,
his wife.
but see, if you want to give off the best friend vibes between O'Shea Jackson and that guy, that should be their dialogue instead of like you never got the like they in the beginning when they're driving together and it's like we're not friends, and then at the end it's like they didn't really have much dialogue between them except for like the stupid 21 questions game, and then at the end you're supposed to it's like oh, you were always my best friend. It's like you could have had those moments while they're trying to find the drugs to build that connection
Well, I
with Ray
think I
Liotta
think the point
as well.
was
There,
though the reason why they bonded is because they shared this traumatic experience. I mean, maybe, but the thing is, what you're describing is technically right. You want to have it build up to something, but that sounds like it'd be too on the nose. I think that it was more not subtle, but it could have been like, oh, hey man, like I think we're really bonding. Like, don't do that. I think
well,
it
I know
was underdeveloped a little bit, but I
I'm also
prefer
saying is
that instead of in your face, like, oh, we're becoming friends now.
well, I was saying is you don't even need that the kid there is you could save that dialogue for O'Shea Jackson and Ray Liotta's son because they're supposed to be best friends, but you only really get that vibe at the end when they're in the water and he got shot in the neck and they're like kind of you know forgiving each other. Like I think the dialogue that was those emotional scenes or whatever or working out their problems could have been between the two actual friends with Ray Liotta there too to like kind of he could be like the Joker between those three. But
I liked Ray Liotta as the no nonsense guy because he was just kind of looking out for himself.
well, that's
I
what
like
well
that.
his no nonsense could be the humor in it. Like he's just like no, we're getting the drugs, screw everyone. That's his
Well, he
whole
was
point.
like that.
Yeah,
He killed a
no, that
cop.
yeah. No, I'm saying is they could have had more of that, like where they have that trio are the main three, the son, David, and Ray Liotta. They could have been the main trio.
I mean, I didn't mind Ray Liotta being in the movie as much as he was. Didn't really bother me too much. I think they just should have focused it on David and Eddie. Eddie is Ray Liotta's son instead of the mother and the two kids.
Because
This
there
movie
really
wouldn't
wasn't
have any
no.
heart.
What?
The movie wouldn't have any heart.
I mean, they had
I don't think.
some. They had
I
a
don't
gay
think it should have
panic
had
scene
any
kind
heart.
of with the the one guy who survived all of his friends, and he clearly was like trying to hit on Eddie. Ugh.
Yeah.
They threw that in there, but I don't know. I didn't mind that one guy too. Whoever the guy who survived of his three friends, I didn't mind that. It kind of reminded me of the Nice Guys, where they're listening to this idiot kid trying to tell them stuff. Even though it was done much better in the Nice Guys, but it reminded me of that.
The movie had a more talented director, so
Yeah, but that director also made The Predator, which has a predator in it. That was
swing and a miss.
Yeah, I think I think like this movie shouldn't have. That's also another thing is I think they shouldn't have like with the family like trying to like have somewhat of a heart. Like I don't think this movie, the premise and everything, really needs a heart, especially when you have the guy already. He just lost his wife. Him and his friend are not on good terms, and his dad is some drug lord who just abandoned and he abandoned his son, and the Ray Liotta left the kid at home. Like I think there's enough there to play with that.
I agree. I've been saying it for since the start. They should have removed the kids and the mother. Everything else I
Yeah,
didn't really have a problem with, besides some iffy and uneven acting.
From who? Name names.
Oh, easily the O'Shea Jackson Jr. was kind of bad in this movie. Easily him.
Yikes.
What would you say?
Yikes.
Oh. But to
I think
summarize, I guess I know you guys don't like it, but I thought it was a good time. It exceeded my expectations, even though I didn't really have any. It is better than those Seth MacFarlane movies, though. I will say that easily.
It's shorter.
Well, it's funnier than anything that Seth MacFarlane has done. He is so unfunny.
are you talking about the Ted movies, or are you talking about just like
Yes,
a
I'm
million
talking
ways
about
to die in
the Ted
Lost?
movies. Everything he's done, he is unfunny. I don't like.
I, I
I don't
I
like him
thought
at all.
I thought the first Ted was funny. I thought it was better than this.
I don't like Ted or Ted 2. Ted 2 is
Well,
piece
Ted
of human
2 is
garbage.
Ted. There was no need for a sequel. You could have Ted. It's a one note story. They should have just left it after the first one. I thought that was funny enough, and leave it there.
I just don't like Seth MacFarlane. Craig's his
I do
biggest
not like it,
supporter,
in
though.
case you could tell. I would
What
not be recommending it.
Oh, I would
are you talking
recommend
about?
it.
Are you talking about Seth MacFarlane or Cocaine Bear, Craig?
Cocaine Bear.
I would
Yeah,
recommend
I
Cocaine
don't.
Bear, but I would not recommend anything of Seth MacFarlane's filmography.
Yeah,
Trying to turn this to like a backdoor Seth MacFarlane
I do.
review.
I
Like,
really do
all right.
not like him. I do not like his movies.
Well, that's
Maybe
going a
we
bit of
can
a
do a
side
Seth
thing.
MacFarlane special next week.
Well, I was
oh my
also going
god,
to
I
say,
don't want to watch the.
yeah. Well, I was going to say that's also like the reason between like him and South Park had like a bit of a feud. That was like South Park's main critique on like Family Guy was they felt like the writing was like lazy.
It is lazy. It's
Yeah.
unfunny and it's lazy.
For you.
No, I think. I mean, yes, for me, I do not. I don't think I only laughed a couple times, maybe at Family Guy, but that's enough. Maybe it's enough about Seth MacFarlane. But like I said,
But
maybe we could do
I,
a Seth MacFarlane episode after this.
maybe you can, Colin.
Oh, I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I guess
I
real quick
for,
though, when Craig and I saw this, there were a bunch of high schoolers in the theater, and we both thought we were in the wrong theater. We thought we were watching Ant-Man.
Yeah, I legitimately thought that too. Because like
There's a
this
bunch
kind
of
of the
kids
crowd for
there.
Ant Man.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, this movie is rated R, right? Like, why are there a bunch of kids in here?
see. I was in a theater with like mostly older couples.
Oh, we saw it on Friday night, so we were those people.
But
Unfortunately,
I do not recommend this movie unless you
I would have
are.
wanted to see Ant Man. Actually,
I would not say that at all. Oh no.
I would. At least Ant Man, you can kind of at least there's more to talk about. This just
I
wasn't funny.
I think Paul Rudd alone would be enough of a reason, Craig.
I want to see ants.
Oh, you don't.
But
You don't mean
I would
that.
say the
No,
only
I
way
do
I'd
mean
recommend this
that.
is if you're
Really?
actually if you're more looking for a slasher movie than comedy, go see this movie. But I overall just don't recommend it.
See, people always talk about we need more like new ideas in Hollywood, and they give us this. It's like, okay, well, maybe Hollywood deserves to die.
I wouldn't
They're
go
always
that
saying,
far, but I
they're always saying,
think.
oh, we need to make more
Yeah,
creative stuff because there's always only superhero movies now, and then they give us this. Thanks.
Well, I guess what the logic of that is, um, like you want more stuff, but the thing is, like you want more original stuff, but no one pays to see that stuff. Like I'm
I paid
sure.
to see this.
Well, they don't make more money than the Marvel movies.
Well, true, but like that's
That's what people are saying. It's like a great contradiction. Oh, we need more original stuff, but they don't pay to see that. They pay to see the Marvel stuff.
hey, I'm practicing what I preach.
Well,
I
I know
paid to
you
see
are. No,
this.
no, no. I know you are. I'm just saying the general public. That's why, like, I mean, I don't watch most of the Oscar movies, but movies that are technically better, no one pays to see.
Well, I mean, because no one likes them. Well, people like them are like the reviewers.
Okay, okay.
No, it's true, right? I mean, that's why no one sees them. No one likes them. So like, these are like huffing their own farts.
I mean, there's this movie called Everywhere, Everything at Once or something. A lot of people seem to like that. Didn't do too great at the box office because
I heard those guts. I was gonna watch it on the plane, but then
no
I
one
didn't have any
wanted to see
working
it. Everyone would
headphones.
rather watch, I don't know, Ant-Man 3 and that terrible MODOK creature.
or
Ants.
or Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, like I would take Cocaine Bear over Thor: Love and Thunder any day, easily.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's like a really low bar. I mean, that's like
yeah.
that's a
Colin,
cheap shot.
you gotta pair it up with movies that we could actually enjoy.
uh.
Hey, that's a cheap shot. Yeah, I embrace the death of Hollywood. This is the
Hollywood's
creative
been dead
ideas
for
they're
a
going to
while,
give us.
Craig. Ever since the MCU took over, that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, but it's like a walking corpse. He's like double tap it.
then you double tap it, and then what comes out of its head are more phases of Marvel. Phase 5, Phase 6.
Phase 7.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could watch Ant-Man 3. I don't have a desire to see that.
Well, I don't desire either, but
The
after watching
reviews,
this, like,
the reviews are abysmal. I don't have a desire. I don't want to get annoyed watching a Marvel movie written by another Rick and Morty writer. I do not want to get annoyed.
Dude, multiverse, wubba lubba.
To put it succinctly with my ideas, I think Cocaine Bear could have been better. Definitely needed more refinements in the writing department. I thought Elizabeth Banks did an okay job. She did better than I expected.
It's so Charlie's Angels, but
Yeah, it's no Pitch Perfect 2. I would give Cocaine Bear a rating. I would give it a solid 6 or a 6.5 out of 10, which is still a D. So that's okay.
Well, no, like if I like, you got to use like the whole scale. Like 5 is
Yeah.
just average.
Yeah, I'll give it like a
Okay.
6 out of 10.
Because I hate like small tangent, but you know, like when people review stuff.
Craig, you're spurging out again.
No. Like everyone does this. Like when people review stuff, a 7 is like average, 8 is good, 9 is great, like a 10 is perfect. Like no one ever uses anything below 7 unless it's really bad. You got to use more of the number
I
scale.
feel like 6 is average. Actually, 5 is more like mixed.
I think 5 should be average. It's right in the middle.
Yeah.
well, that's why you're not in Hollywood reviewing movies, Craig.
Well, yeah, I have no
Chris Stuckman.
credentials. Who's gonna listen to us now? Why would they listen to me in Hollywood?
This is true.
If we're just collecting thoughts, I thought the concept and the it had a lot of potential, and I think the movie ultimately fails because they don't fully utilize it. So,
Oh, they could fail if they don't fully utilize it.
well, it's also a combination of things, but I think the overall thing that for me I was most disappointed is they didn't utilize the premise as much as they could have, or in a more creative and fun way as they could have. And that's what I was expecting going into the movie, and I didn't get that. I want my money back.
It's
And
no
Craig
A
still
Million
wants his
Ways
money
to
back
Die
from
in the
Fandango.
West.
Well,
Talk about a movie that wastes its potential.
Have you guys heard
but-
like the new
but
AI
the thing-
stuff that's
but-
been coming out?
But the way the A Million Ways to Die in the West is written, it's more of a commentary on that time period and lifestyle. It's not.
It's too on the nose. It's him complaining about everything, looking like a baby.
Well, because it's like Brian and Family Guy. Like he's the direct social commentary on things. So, but the way A Million Ways to that's more of a commentary and satire on that time period and everything. And his character's written that way. I'm not saying it's funny, but I'm just saying that was what he was going for. Was literally
he
picking apart that.
He didn't
time,
do it well at all.
I didn't really see that movie enough to get into a discussion about.
He could go. I mean, I watched it recently and I hate it. I don't know why I keep talking about it. That's my grading scale.
Really scarred you.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane really got.
That's my grading scale. It's better than Seth MacFarlane movies, so it's good enough for me. That's my grading scale.
Have you heard about the new AI stuff that's been coming out, like Chat GPT and other stuff?
Does this pertain to Cocaine Bear? Because we've been kind of going off topic.
Yes. I feel like if you were to, because you can like type up stuff like, oh, write a script about a bear on cocaine, and it'll generate something for you. I think
I have seen that.
I think if you had that AI, you had put in those like, hey, write a script about Cocaine Bear, make it a horror comedy. I think that could come up with a better script and ideas than Elizabeth Banks.
Well, Elizabeth Banks didn't write the movie.
I don't care. I want to blame her. I don't know the writer's name. I don't care. I'm blaming her.
Oh, that's unfair.
Completely fair.
Oh, that's unfair. I'm not a big fan of hers, but that's you can't pin that all on her.
Well, who am I going to blame? Who's the writer?
I don't know. Look up the writer.
Point is, I think that AI could have done a better job writing the script than whoever wrote the movie and Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'll stat that.
Putting it out there, I think we're going to get to the point where AIs are writing scripts for movies.
I
When
mean,
you just get these people to tweak it,
yeah,
It was written by Jimmy Warden.
who cares?
I think they'll definitely go to AI to come up with weird ideas, and then they'll, like what you said, then they'll just go from there.
Like South Park with the head Cartman as Osimo. And he kept just putting out Adam Sandler movies.
All right, well, I think we're gonna. That's the end of the episode. This has been the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. I'm Colin.
I'm Chat GPT.
And I'm Daniel.